Hello, good morning, good evening.
Yeah. Good morning, Mani.
Hey, hi, bro. Just search in the Google that Power BI desktop download, the very first link which you're getting, which will redirect you to download the Power BI desktop. Okay. So here you have all these components, and whichever you want, you can download it. Either these are the different components of Microsoft Power BI mobile and gateways. Okay, we will talk about what is gateway, standard gateway, and personal gateway, but these are the different components, and this can be like another interview question you would be asked, like what are the different components in Power BI. So you can simply say that Power BI desktop, Power BI mobile, on-premises gateways, okay, the data sources, the data sets. Okay, the data sets are something like which we will build. um, they are nothing but the queries that we prepare. Okay, so they are the different components of Power BI, and when you go here, it will be downloaded. Okay, that is very simple, and once it is downloaded, then you can, right, like how to install it.
Yeah, sure. I will like. So,
Right,
so Power BI has only like a desktop version or like just a UI version also anything like.
let me show you. Okay, first this desktop version. uh, do you have any experience on SSRS?
No, I
No.
know only like SSIS, not with SSRS.
SSIS you have experience, right?
Yeah, it's like an ETL tool, right? Everything like it.
Perfect, that is enough. Okay, so for building any of the SSIS packages, what you do, you use Visual Studio as an interface for building the packages, right?
Yes.
So similarly, for building all the Power BI reports, desktop is the component. Desktop is the software or the product that we use in our system. It's an on-premise product that we use for building entire dashboard or the Power BI report.
Okay. Okay.
Clear? So this is how it looks. This is how it looks. Okay. So the very first moment when you launch, when you search for Power BI desktop in your system, okay, and when you click on it, it will be launched like this. It will be launched like this. So this is like I mean, what is Power BI, and why it is being standing the first position right now in the market in the Gantt chart is because it has a vast features, and the support which it is giving. It is supporting like all the data sources that is there in the market right now. Be it is on-premise data sources and cloud data sources, everything it is supporting. And the next thing is ease of use. So again, at one point of time, we will also see like what are the advantages over Tableau with Power BI. That also I have I mean, like in my organization, I have created that and published that in the Confluence. So I will share it with you all. I mean, like I will walk through as well in our one of the session, that how it is different from Tableau. Like, so if you have an experience with the Tableau, so probably you know that when you create a formatting of any of the columns, every column you need to select and do that color formatting. But when it comes to Power BI, you have this format painter option. So if you are done the changes for one slicer, the backend colors, front end colors, or one column formatting the headers, footers, font, background, bold, everything. Then you can copy this. Then you can click on that particular column and click on this format painter and apply that one for the other columns which you wanted to. It's a simply one click. So that's how you can do it. I mean, like that is one of the difference, or I mean, each one has its own pros and cons. But since we are talking and more on Power BI, right, as part of this training session, so like we will go through much in detail about this Power BI. Okay, so I will. So once you install, right, we will use this complete Power BI desktop for entire our training purpose. But you also need to understand where exactly these reports are going. Why? Because desktop. So let's say you created a Power BI report. You created completely designed a Power BI report. But how you are going to share that report to the end users? You cannot go and give that file to the end user. Hey, you can open this file and work on it. That is not the thing. Why? Because report should be centralized, should be published in a centralized location. That is nothing but one interface. We need to provide an interface for the end users so that they can access the reports whenever they want it. Okay, that is the standard approach. So that means we need to publish these reports. Once the development is done, then we need to publish these reports. There is an option here, right? You can see this will be enabled. Okay, this we can publish the reports in the service. Okay, this is called Power BI service. So basically what happened, you have two things. One is on-premise. This is on-premise, and this is the one is a cloud. So don't get confused, okay? And you should be, since you are getting getting a training, but you should be very confident that in answering these kind of things or giving clarification to anyone else, Power BI desktop is the same component for both on-premise and cloud. Okay, so but the name is same, but the product is different. When you are searching, when you are downloading the Power BI desktop from the Google, by default you will get the desktop version which is supported for on cloud. Okay, but you will also be available with Power BI desktop which is supported for on premise as well. Okay, so Power BI desktop, this. Okay, and this is Power BI desktop for cloud. Okay, so when you search and for the downloading the products, you will you need to make sure that which version, which of the desktop that you are downloading. Let's say you have downloaded a Power BI, or else you built a Power BI report, a complete dashboard. You have designed it using Power BI desktop of on-premise one, but you wanted to deploy this in a Power BI service. It will not be supported. It will not be supported, and it is a vice versa. The one which you have created in Power BI cloud and you wanted to deploy that in the Power BI reporting server. Now comes your product. So these are the individual products that you use in your system for building a report. But once the development is done, then what you need to do, you need to publish these reports in the interface, right? So interfaces, for since this is for the Power BI desktop for on premise, so what you have, we have Power BI reporting server. Okay, this is called Power BI reporting server, and this is the interface. This is the interface for Power BI reporting server where you will host all your reports. So basically, once you deploy the reports here, then you can ask the user to verify the report using the link that you are going to share with the user. That's how the reports will be centralized location even it comes to Power BI reporting server. Okay. And Power BI reporting server is not as matured as Power BI service. Why? Because the Power BI desktop actually came into the market just to promote the cloud products. So later point of time, there are companies like who deal with very sensitive data. Like take an example of a banking company. So banks generally don't prefer to publish their data in the cloud environment. Why? Because they even whatever the security the product owner provides. Here the product owner is Microsoft. Okay. For the Tableau, it's a Salesforce. They have built their products with security only, but still the companies cannot rely on their statement in hosting their client data in the cloud environment. Why? Because they always wanted to place their client data in their on-premises environment so that there is no chance for hacking the data. But once it is published in the cloud environment, it is something that we are hosting, though it is a private cloud or public cloud. So that's the reason they generally don't prefer to publish their data in the cloud environment. So if they do not prefer to publish their data in the cloud environment, then what is the other option? They can use it. The other option is nothing but Power BI reporting server. Power BI reporting server is the application that will be installed in the on-premise only. It will be installed in the company's on-premise only. It will be installed in one of the server, Windows server, and that you can make a use of it. So similar process, deploying the report again, but this is for publishing the report into the service, this option. Okay. Again, when you look into the Power BI reporting server, there you will have, once you open it, there you have an upload button. So using which we can publish the report. I will bring some kind of a screenshots. Okay. So to walk through like how it will be look like. Okay. And coming to this Power BI desktop, okay, and talking about this Power BI reporting server, this is not as I mentioned, like as matured as Power BI cloud. So it has a very, I would say, very limited features, very limited options. Why? Because and now the Microsoft is coming up with new version, the new product for every 3 months. Every 3 months. Every 3 months, they are coming up with a new product with a different features implementation.
You mean Manik like and patches or like completely they are upgrading the
Upgrading, not patches.
oh, okay.
They are all together coming up with a new product. New product in the sense, it is not a patch actually. So they are upgrading the software basically. So let's say today they have given like 100 features, and tomorrow when they're coming up with a new version, they're giving 110 features. So when we install that one, so you can able to use the other 10 features which they are coming up with the new version. That's it. So for every 3 months, they are coming up with a new version.
So it means that, for example, if you have an on-premise Power BI reporting server, so do we need to get every time like a new VM and again reinstall the Power BI again, or like just upgrade the current one?
Upgrade the current one. Not
Oh, okay.
no VM is not required. What generally people do, okay, let me explain like how it happens in the real time. Okay. So till now you people got right. You all understand, right? That how the Power BI will look like on a high level. I will show you like the like how the reporting interface will look and everything. But on a high level, just try to understand what it is. Okay. So this desktop will also be on premise, and this Power BI reporting server will also be on premise. So what is the advantage with this on-premise Power BI reporting server? So earlier we used to have a reporting server. Okay, reporting manager, basically we call it as a report manager for hosting all the SSRS reports. Since SSRS, SSIS is a BI component, MSBI component, which is a product of Microsoft only. Okay, so what they're doing now, they're giving the advantage to their companies that Power BI reporting server from 2012, from 2016. The version which you are installing, 2016 version, you can install, you can host both SSRS reports as well as Power BI reports in the same interface. That is the advantage they are giving it to their companies. Okay, so once you have done this one, here within this server itself, you can schedule the reports. That is very important, right? Let's say every time you cannot go and build your queries or build your Power BI reports with dynamic data. Sometimes it goes with a static data as well. So it should not so you build the Power BI report with the static data, but you need to make sure that the data is getting updated for every schedule. It can be a daily or it can be monthly or weekly, that you need to make sure that. So that scheduling part will be taken care in the server itself. That scheduling part will be taken care at the reporting server. Okay. So for coming to the installation, let's say today we got this Power BI reporting server, and this has been given by the one of the team who actually takes care of this product in the company, in any organization. Okay, so what they do, they just provide the service to the every project people. Let's say I'm working for one of the project and you are the one who is working for another project. So there would be a team, I'm referring to a big company. Okay, so what they do, they keep their Power BI desktop, this entire reporting server in one of the server, and they will keep the complete control of the reporting server in their hands. They just provide the services to all of us. For every project they wanted to use this Power BI reporting server. So how we can do it? So within that, let's say, and I will put a request to that team stating that I wanted to host my Power BI reports in the Power BI reporting server. So what they will do, they will ask us to create an AD group. Okay, AD group. So basically that AD group will be having it will be kind of a group there you can add all the users. Why? Because it is not a good approach adding the individual users in the Power BI reporting server or promise for providing access to certain folders or the reports. So that's the reason it's a standard approach. What generally we do, we create a AD&T group. I mean the credentials or the what I will say user ID and password. Okay, in simple. So that account, what we will do once the account is created, all the developers will ask to add our individual accounts into that group. So what will happen once the Power BI team, the reporting team who maintains the server, they adds our AD group or the service group into the server. So what will happen? Because we are already part of that group, so whatever the permissions which are given to that group, all will be inherited to individuals. So from there, like, we can start accessing the report. It is not with this process. Let's say there are 50 developers are there in the project. All the 50 developers, no need to go into the server manually add that to provide access. With this approach, what will happen when that single service account, when it is AD group, I would say AD account is added to that service, added to that server, then all inheritedly we all get the access to that particular Power BI desktop, Power BI reporting server reports. So that's how, like, the process will be coming to the installation. And today the product is installed. So this entire team, the team who is handling this one, they will take care like upgradation part. But how they are taking care of this upgradation part? Every time, for every 3 months, what they will do when the new product which comes, that product in the sense that is a software, as like our other softwares that we install right in our system. This is just like installation of a Power BI desktop. So that what they do, they will put some kind of a instructions. They will write some kind of a ticket stating that a new product has been launched by Microsoft and we need that one. So the procurement team in the sense who actually procures the license for these products for the company, and what they will do, they will procure the license and they will place the product in a location where we can use it, where we can make a use of it. So once that part is done, what they do, the team who is looking for, this is centralized team, right? For any company, this would be a centralized team. What they do, they will place this Power BI product in which Windows server actually they have installed the Power BI reporting server. Clear so far, or any questions? Teja, you're good?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so what they
Yeah.
do, so the very first step, what they do, they will install, I mean, once they place the product in the Windows server, I mean the reporting server product which they are getting as a new product, what they do, they will request a installation team, basically the infrastructure team or the DBA team, they take care of it. What they do, simple, like how we are installing in our system, the similar way, they will double click and put on all the instructions like by clicking on the next button, everything, then on automatically the upgradation will happen. So the entire server upgradation will happen. Once it is done, then in the top of that interface, you can see like which version of the Power BI reporting server that you are currently using. Since there is a separate team who is maintaining this Power BI reporting server and they are providing the services to each individual projects. So being a developer in one of the project, you don't need to worry about anything. It will be automatically taken care by that particular team who is responsible for that one. And the only concern that you need to take care is like the very first moment when you get an update or a notification from them stating that the product has been upgraded, you just have to go to the interface, Power BI reporting interface that you are using for hosting your reports, and can confirm like which version it is upgraded to. That's it. That's it. That is actually the process of upgradation that happens in generally in the organizations. But this process which I talked about, that there is a separate team who takes care and of entirely for this Power BI reporting server, and they provide the services to all the different teams who works in that company. This generally happens in the large companies. But let's say take an example for a small company. Why? Because I see like I work with many consultants in US, right? What they usually say, they themselves take care of this upgradation. Why? Because of the less strength in the company, they play the multiple roles. It is not something that you are limited to developer only. They also take care of the installation or upgradation, everything. So it would be good like if you are aware like what is the process is. So that's the reason I have explained you everything. The installation or upgradation of a reporting server, installation is a little bit tough for the reporting server. Why? Because it will ask you certain things. Definitely it will ask you certain things that you need to map those items. Let's say they will ask you to create the I mean they will ask you the database names. When you are installing, there would be two default databases would be created: reporting server tempdb. Okay, these are the two databases will be created. So these are the certain questions that will be asked. So once you provided that information, then we are good. There is no other information or much difficult would be required to upgrade the product, even it is a server or a desktop. Clear?
Yes, Manik.
Okay, so now comes to your Power BI service. Okay, so this Power BI service, you cannot see you can host or you can publish your Power BI report that has been built in Power BI desktop that is supported for cloud. Those reports can only published in Power BI cloud. This is called Power BI service. This is called Power BI service. Here you will be in Power BI reporting server, you will be having the folders. Okay, but when it comes to Power BI service, you will be having workspaces, different workspaces. Workspace 1, workspace to likewise there will be different workspaces. So here again, since we are talking about the Power BI service and the cloud thing, right? So generally the company maintains Power BI admins. Your job is just building the report as to meet the business requirement. Whatever the complexity it is totally your responsibility being the developer to implement the report, to develop the report. So as I said like earlier, how the process will be, once the report development is done, then what you do, you perform all sort of unit testing, and you also perform, like being the developer, you can perform certain test cases also to make sure that your report is giving a valid data what is expected as a acceptance criteria of the user story that you're working for. Then once you confirm, then once you are sure, then what you do, you will pass this report to the QA environment, testing environment, so that you will ask them to validate the report. So once it is passed, then again it will be moved to the next environment called UAT, user acceptance testing environment. So that is the place where you will give a walkthrough to the end user that what the report has been developed and what are the functionalities and everything. Though the requirement has been came from the business only, but once you implemented that report, you need to give a walkthrough, a kind of a presentation to the business user that this is the report which has been built, and these are the different filters which has been asked as part of this requirement, and this is how it looks, and when you select this one, and that's how the report gets filtered out. So it's a kind of a small walkthrough you have to give it to the business user, so that after the walkthrough, what the business user will do, it would be very easy for them that to validate the data after the walkthrough. So once they give the sign off stating that the report is good to move to the production, then it will be promoted to the production. But when you are promoting your product or report to the production, so there would be different interfaces. This is Power BI Cloud. For the QA environment, you will be having different cloud interface, and for the UAT environment, you will be having different one, and for the production, you will be having a different one. Okay, that is one way. But some companies, what they do, instead of creating multiple interfaces, multiple basically cloud environments, they will create one single cloud environment, and within that they will maintain the folders for the production and UAT likewise. Within that they will maintain the security of it. That is the other approach that different companies they follow. Okay. So the next comes.
Manik, I have a quick question here.
Yep.
So when you are migrating a report from dev to test, I'm like, do you usually always do from your desktop, or like directly from dev to test, like from within the servers?
Very good. Yep. So here again, the different approaches the companies follow. So one approach, as you said, like deploying the report from the desktop into the different servers. So let's talk an example. I mean, let's talk about this approach, how it works for the reporting server and how it works for the Power BI service. Okay. So for the same question, how do we publish or move the report or promote the report from one environment to another environment? When it is coming to the reporting server, once the report development is done, then you publish, as I said, like there will be in every interface, every environment, there will be a kind of interface they provided. Like for the development, you will be having one interface. I mean, interface in the sense, a reporting link. You will be given with a reporting link. There you can open it in your browser, and you can deal with publishing your reports and everything. You can do it. So for the QA environment, there will be separate link. For the UAT, there would be separate link. So likewise, they maintain the different links. So for when it is coming to the QA environment, let's say you already published the report in the development environment. For the QA, you need to do it. So moving the report from one interface to another interface is not possible. Again, you need to go back to your QA interface. There you will be find an option called upload. And when you click on that upload, either the report, when the developed report, if you are placing that report in your desktop, then you can simply call that report like how you interact with your file explorer, right? In your system, Windows. Let's say if I wanted to upload one file in somewhere, the same process is to publish the report or upload the report into the different environments. Moving the report from one interface to another interface is not possible. But what is the other approach? This is the manual process. This is the manual process which I talked about. We'll click on the upload button and we'll do that. What is the other process? Creating the CI/CD pipelines. Okay, creating the CI/CD pipelines, continuous improvement and continuous development. Okay, you might all heard about that. What is the pipelines? I believe. If not, just go through that. I mean, any of the YouTube videos, you just read it, like how the pipelines will be created. Okay, but here, these are all the different roles. Okay, you may or may not be creating the pipelines in any of the company. Why? Because every company won't expect you to create the pipelines. For the creating the CI/CD pipelines, there would be a different team. Okay, so they take care of it. So once the report development is done, what generally you use it to do, you need to publish your report in a repository. In a repository. That is nothing but the version controlling system. Let's say you have built your report. Okay, you have created your report, and that report after 6 months, you need to make some enhancements. This is called version controlling system. This is again an interface. Okay, so either it can be Git, TFS, Team Foundation Server, or SVN, or what else? Azure DevOps. So these are the different products which are there in the market right now. So might be you all familiar with either any of them or all of them. So these are the different places, or different environments then generally companies use for publishing the reports. So what the help of this one? So since I mentioned these are all the version controlling systems, what does it mean? Let's say I have created a report today, and I will publish that report in any of these environments. And after 3 months, I got another requirement that to enhance that report with certain features, like by adding the column or removing the column or changing the business logic. There could be any requirement. So what I will do, I will go to this version controlling system and pull the report as a latest copy which has been available, which has been deployed in any of this version controlling system, and I will work on top of it. So I will make the changes as per the business requirement, and I will redeploy it again on top of this. And again after 3 months, of that, someone is coming, like someone has to work on this report. Why? Because the business is coming up with some other new pages to be created as part of this report. So the developer has to take up that and has to pick the latest version from any of these version controlling systems and have to do the development. So what will happen here? Here you can see all the versions of your Power BI report from the beginning. Whenever you want, at any point of time, you can pull, or you can download any of the versions which has been worked in earlier previously by all the different requirements, and you can pull that particular version and you can download and you can look into that one and you can make the changes on top of it. That is the advantage with the version controlling system. Version in the sense, it will keep you all the versions of the reports that you're publishing in that environment. Okay, so from here, that CI/CD pipelines will be created. Here, the CI/CD pipelines will be created. So Git to, from what are the reports that you wanted to publish into the different environment. Let's say from the dev environment to the QA environment, the pipelines will be created with the different codes. Okay, so that code will help to publish the report or to push the report from development environment into the QA environment to the UAT environment, and UAT environment to the prod environment. That is the process generally the companies follow. What is that? Two options which we talked about. One is manual deployment, like every environment, every interface that we will open, be it is a QA or UAT or production or whatever. So we just need to open, and there we need to click on the upload button. It will be published. It will be published. That is the manual approach. And what is the other approach that we talked about? Publishing that report into the Git environment and creating the CI/CD pipelines. Through CI/CD pipelines, the report will be automatically deployed from one environment into the another environment. That is the second approach. Okay, so these are the two different approaches that we follow for deploying the reports into the server. And coming to this service, again the companies maintain what they maintain. They maintain the different interfaces. As I said, like here you will be having the publish button. Once the report development is done, then you can simply click on this publish and you can deploy the report wherever you want. Either it can be workspace 1, it can be workspace 2 and workspace 3. Wherever you want, you can deploy it. It is like again a manual process. Okay, and the same pipeline architecture you can use it for the Power BI service as well. Clear?
Yes, Manik.
Yep. So what are these interfaces? What are these workspaces? Okay, we will talk about though in detail, but at this present, just for our understanding, the workspaces, let's say I'm one of the customer to a company or a client to the company. Okay, and I'm not supposed to access every report that is published in the Power BI service. So I need to create some kind of restrictions in the service for the end users to not to access or to allow only the reports which they are authorized to. So for that reason, I will limit the users. I will create the workspaces, and within that workspace, we can publish the reports. And on top of the workspace, we can add the users like who are authenticated or who are allowed to access that workspace. Okay, so this workspace, when we come into the Power BI service, that we call it as a workspace. When it is coming to the Power BI server, that we call it as a folders. That's it. So you can provide workspace wise permissions. And also, if you wanted to share this report, to any of the end users, that is also possible in both the environments. In Power BI reporting server, what we need to do, we need to create subscriptions. And when it is coming to the Power BI workspace, there you can subscribe the reports. But the problem is reporting subscriptions is currently not provided in Microsoft for the Power BI reporting server. As I mentioned earlier, it is slowly growing up, and it is coming up with the new enhancements with a new version for once in every 3 months. But when it is coming to the Power BI service, the entire market of Microsoft on Power BI is depending on this product. So they're coming up with once in a month. Very aggressively, they're coming up with a few very wonderful features. So what I suggest, once after this training or from today itself, what you do, you just follow some of the LinkedIn profiles, Power BI communities, or the Power BI channels which are there in the YouTube. What they do every month after first, I think you might be, today we are at 3rd, right? You're at 2. So 2nd, so you might see a new version which has been already released by Microsoft. Someone might have created a blog, a kind of a video, which is been explaining each and every feature that has been introduced by Microsoft as part of that product. So what will happen with that exercise? So if you make yourself to be like aligned with what are the features that are coming up with every product, so it would be easy like for you to implement the things in your project. Also, you can make sure that you are up to the market with the features that what we are available with the product. Even in the interviews also, if it is being asked, like they generally ask which version of the Power BI that you are currently using. So you can answer that version number, as well as on top of that, you can add an additional answer to gain their impression that earlier I was using this product, I mean this version of the Power BI, and now the system has been upgraded to this version, and these are the additional features that I've seen with the new version, and they are really cool, and I have implemented that in my dashboards. That way you can tell. Okay, so if you see here, this comes up with once in every month, and the futures which are coming up with this Power BI service are very huge, very huge. I mean, there are a lot of features they're coming up with every month. Yeah, let's say if you're not following with this upgradation or coming the futures at least for 2 to 3 months, then you're gone. It will be you will be piled up with lot of futures that you need to learn. It would be very difficult, so that at one point of time you will be out of I mean like out of like the futures which are coming up with the product that every month. So that's the reason I wanted you all to practice, as well as go through the videos which are coming up with every month, that new features which are coming up for the product. Okay, so I mean like the workflow, I believe like you're all clear with the workflow, right? What is a Power BI desktop? So you should be very clear that which version of which product, which Power BI desktop you're using. When you are downloading the Power BI desktop also, the name looks same. The name looks similar for both of them. But you also need to understand, you need to clarify that what is this product is for. Is it for Power BI on-premise or is it for cloud? Okay, clear? Any questions?
Manik, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you download, you did a Power BI desktop for on-premise. What about, in your individual laptops, can we install this Power BI reporting server also? I mean, like
Yes.
that we can.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh,
And I suggest you to do it. I suggest you to do it. Why? Because with that installation, you will learn a lot of things, like you will learn like how to create, I mean, how it is creating the different folders in the server, in the database server. Why? Because you need to provide your database details as well. Like
okay. So it means that we can develop and as well as publish and everything. We can do the practice, everything.
perfectly. Yes, you can do that. You can do that either with the help of Power BI reporting server. You can install and do that practice. And I will show you like how to create a free account in Power BI service, so that you can host your reports in the Power BI service.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So that's like in the cloud, everything.
Cloud environment. Okay. Cloud environment, that there would be a link called app.powerbi.com. So when you go there, and we can create Power BI service accounts. So once it is created, it will be a free account actually. I think you will be having access to limited time, either 1 month or 2 months. We will see that. I will provide you that information. But once your Power BI cloud account is created, then you can host your reports. Why? Because I mean, in general, I see like people ignore in understanding that what is going on the other side of a Power BI. Other side in the sense Power BI cloud side. Why? Because in general, in the companies, you never create a gateway. Being the developer, you will never create a gateway. It will be taken care entirely by the Power BI admins. You will not be even given the access also to perform that action. But since right now we are in the competitive market, so we should expand our scope of understanding what is happening on the other side. It would be good to learn like what is happening in the Power BI cloud. Why? Because when you get into the organization, we are not sure that whether we will be getting access to perform all side kind of operations or not. So, but if you install this Power BI cloud in your system, what will happen? Not installing, actually creating the account. When it is coming to the cloud, there would be nothing called installation. Okay, that is what the advantage with the cloud. That is what the advantage with the cloud. Cloud, what we are getting it, we are getting all the services. Platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. So these are the different services we are getting, right? So with that, they're just creating, they're maintaining the server, softwares and everything in the cloud environment. We are just using those services through a link, through a web link, which they are providing it. So in that we will learn like how we can create a workspaces, okay, how we can create a workspaces and how we can create dashboards. You know, this can be one of the interview question. So with the Power BI desktop, you can create only the reports. Remember this, with the Power BI desktop, you can create only the reports with the different pages. We will talk about, okay, but you can create the dashboard. You can create the dashboard only in the Power BI service. What do you mean by dashboard? What do you mean by I can deploy multiple reports? I can design multiple reports in the Power BI desktop. And once all these reports are published in the service individually, so I can pin the visuals which I'm creating for one of the report and from different reports into a one single dashboard, and that would be called as a Power BI dashboard. And grouping of all the different visuals from the different reports and displaying that in a single report is called a dashboard. That can be possible only in, Power BI service. That we will see how we can create a dashboard in the Power BI. We will publish the reports, okay, we will publish the data sets, and that we will see entirely like how it happens on the other side, Power BI service as well. Okay, clear?
So Manik, I'm assuming that even Power BI reporting server also we can create dashboards, right? Because that's
No, we cannot create the dashboards.
not in Power BI reporting server.
No. Power BI reporting server, it is I would say like it is a small baby, small 1 year baby. And Power BI service, just imagine like it is a grandfather of 50 or 60 years when you compare with both of them
So
in
for
terms
an
of the futures.
Oh, okay. So it means that it's better to have Power BI service only, I mean, like for the clients than the reporting server.
Exactly. No, Power BI service. But see, I was telling you, right, from the beginning of the sessions. So do not limit yourself that you will learn only or you will understand only Power BI service or any particular futures. Though you are not going to work on it, but make yourself that you are clear with all the entire funda, like how it
Sure.
works for on-premise, how it works for the cloud. So see, when it happens, how you can do it in the interviews, you can easily talk about like, okay, when you are not sure why, because as I mentioned, when let's say today you are going for an interview for a banking client, okay, so they don't expect you to have an experience on the Power BI service, then it is entirely waste. So what they expect from you, they will see whether you are experienced with Power BI reporting server and how you create the folders and how you deploy the reports, okay, and how you create the subscriptions, how you create the data sources over there. So how you provide the permissions, those kind of things that they expect from you. If you are aware of all these features, then only you can talk about. Otherwise, like it's gone. Whatever the experience that you have gained on Power BI service, entirely it's gone. It is not helpful. So if you are aware of that, then you can create a story, a front stating that I have a prior experience in working with both Power BI reporting server as well as Power BI service. So I have published the reports when I was working for this company and used Power BI reporting server as a product. So I mean, it totally depends on your skill, like how you create that story. But yeah, when you create the story, when you know something, right, then only you can create the story and present it.
Yeah, got it, man.
Yeah. So not just for the interview purpose, not only just for the interview purpose, it is helpful for everything. Like when you are clear, like Power BI, what is Power BI reporting server and what is Power BI service, then you can, I mean, you can choose like which product you need to use in the organization. Let's say you are in a position, you are reaching out to a position where you can propose, let's say you joined a company and they are seeking your suggestions. It generally happens in every company. They connect with you at the beginning and try to understand your level of knowledge. So there you can propose different solutions like, okay, how this company is operating and what are the futures are needed and what are the options that I can propose. Why? Because on top of this, along with the futures, with the futures, you also need to explore the cost associated with each of these product. The reporting server cost, I would say it is zero. Power BI reporting server cost is zero. Zero in the sense they are providing this reporting server product as a package to the companies with MSBI product. Let's say you're taking the license for your SQL server. So along with the SQL server and MSBI, they're also providing this, including that Power BI reporting server. They're not separately charging anything for the reporting server. Okay. But when it is coming to the Power BI service, the cost is associated. The total cost is associated for each of the thing. Let me show you like how the cost is distributed. So basically you will be having pro and premium licenses. Okay. Based on your usage, based on the capacity of the company, we will go for this costing. This is the licensing cost from Power BI Pro and Power BI Premium. It is a vast thing. And if the company is very large, then they take the license of this capacity per capacity month. What does it mean? This is an individual. Okay, the licenses that you are seeing is for both of them, the different packages they are offering for the Power BI cloud. Okay, so this is per user cost. Per user they're charging. I mean, you are not going to give it from your pocket, but the company is paying on behalf of you. Okay, but you need to understand like what is the cost. Why? Because you also need to tell when it is coming for the interviews, all or for when you're providing your suggestions to the organization, like which tool you can take it. And cost is also gaining the lot of advantage over Tableau. Tableau is too costly compared to Power BI. Okay, so that is the another advantage that companies are moving towards this Power BI, not just for the futures that it is providing. Okay, so this is the licensing cost. This is the licensing cost. If you see here, this Power BI Pro is included with the Microsoft 365. That is also that one of the advantage. Okay, so next comes up with your premium. Premium user cost, it is exactly double to the price. And let's say if you are sure that your company has a more than 100 or 500 developers are there, and they all need the license, or including the business users as well. Why? Because they need the license if they wanted to review the reports either in the mobile or in the Power BI service. They also need to have a license. So including everything, if the capacity is big, then what they do, they take the license for the capacity. Why? Because it is not an advisable part. Let's say your company has 200 employees. 200 multiplied with $27, it is a huge one. Compared to that, they will just pay the package what they're providing per capacity. Okay, so why there are two packages, two different packages, right? So if you scroll down and see, you will be having this complete list. Okay, nothing like a something that you need to explore on your own. They are providing all the details here. So futures, there you have a Power BI Pro, and they have differentiated that different futures how they're providing it. Power BI Premium, Power BI Pro. Likewise, right, when you're purchasing a mobile, you will see different configurations that 8 GB and 128 GB RAM, like hard disk space. So and again like 16 GB and 256 GB. So likewise, you in the phones also you will be having different configurations, and the price will also be different. So the futures will also be different when you see like the different OS that they use in the mobile phones. Likewise, you have these are the different futures. So publish the reports to share and collaborate, which is possible with Power BI Pro and which is possible with Power BI Premium, and it is not giving that option in the Power BI capacity. And paginated reports, this is very important thing, and nowadays they are asking in the interviews as well. Paginated reports, in the sense we will talk about Okay, we will talk about, let's spend some time in detail to talk about what these paginated reports are. Okay, so basically, like, these are the different options. On-premise reporting with Power BI reporting server, that is possible with Power BI capacity. I mean, once you have taken the license with Power BI Premium, you, along with the Power BI service, you are also getting the permissions or license for installing the Power BI reporting server as well. And this is like data preparation, modeling, and visualization. So as I said, like, model size, it is limited to 1 GB, and this is 1 GB is for one report. Okay, they're mentioning all these things for one report. So this is the capacity for 400 GB of a data or a model that you can create for one report. And refresh rate, as I said, like, once you publish the report, and in the server or the service, you need to create a scheduler to refresh your data in the system. Let's say you are dealing with a transactional database. Okay, and your business is really need to know that very frequent updates, that what is the transactional count and what are the sales and everything. For that reason, you have these different options. Refresh rate, so with when you are using a Power BI Pro, you can you can schedule to refresh your report up to max 8 times in a day. But when it comes to premium with the capacity license or individual license, up to 48 times, means for every 30 minutes you can create, you can create a scheduler to refresh your report. Okay, so likewise, you have all these options. You have all these different options. And I mean, see, what I'm saying is, Power BI itself is very vast thing. Okay, vast thing. So whatever we are talking about, I want every day you need to explore more on this one. Okay, explore more on this one and more on the different topics around this, and also get into an advanced things that you will get it in every source of it, be it in the Microsoft site or. And also, I suggest everyone to create an account in the community, Power BI community, so that you can interact with different questions. You may come up with one question that you need help, or you can help the others who are posting their questions in that community. Okay, so this is like different, again, like, these are the different options that it is showing up, that we can use it. And this is a maximum storage per user and TBs and everything. And that's how like the different versions or the different packages they're providing to the users, to make a use of their as per their requirement. If the company is limited, if it's a very small company and it is limited, like, with a hardly 15 developers, I mean, 5 developers, and maybe they have 5-10 different clients, so hardly they will take this license. Why? Because they do not have a huge data, they deal with a very less amount of the data, and they don't want to refresh their data for 48 times in a day. So by looking into all their requirements, they will choose this option, so that it would be cost effective for them. So based on the requirement, company to company, it will be changed, and accordingly they can choose their plans. This comes up with the cost. So that is one of the advantage. Another advantage that you can see in terms of the cost of these products. Okay, is it clear? Are we good, or any questions? Okay, cool. So let's wrap up for the day today, for the session, and let's meet tomorrow to talk about, like, the actual product. So we will see, like, what are all the different. See, when we talk about any of the tool that is there in the market, so what basically we need to learn from the tool. It is not something that you need to code here. Why? Because this is not a language. You need to know the difference between a language and a tool. Tool is something you need to understand what are the different options and the futures functionalities that is providing, so that you can make a use of it by using just a drag and drop. That's it. But you also need to know in and out of the tool so that you can make a use of it. That is what we are going to do it now. That is what we are going to do it now. It is not a language, it is a tool. So it importantly, we need to learn the futures, the different futures that we are seeing in the ribbon here, and the different visuals that what we are seeing here, and how we can use it. And we will also see the filter section here. If you see here, the filters on this page and the filters on all pages. So we will all learn like what is the scope of the filters that we can create different kind of scopes that we can create in the report, so that we can create the scopes for these filters. So we will learn that, and we will also see how we can import the data from different sources. When I was talking about the Power BI is very powerful tool, how it become a powerful tool in the market or other tools that are available. So we will see that how it is powerful by connecting to the different sources that we have. And also we will see the different models. I mean the models that we will create. We can create the interfaces, and we will also see Power BI. When someone is asking you, or when you're talking with someone, you need to know, you need to understand Power BI is not just a reporting tool. It's not just a data visualization tool. It is equally efficient and powerful tool in terms of performing the ETL operations. That we will see. Power Query is the product that is there within this Power BI desktop, using which you can perform different kind of a transformations, so that you can manipulate your data in the Power BI desktop itself without help of any ETL tool separately. That we will see. Okay, so remember this, Power BI is not just a data visualization tool. It is for providing the reports to the end users. It is equally efficient, equally strong in terms of performing the transformations. Okay. Yep. Good. So if we do not have any other questions, let's wrap up for the day. As usual, like I will be sharing I missed to share the assessments yesterday. I will be sharing you the assessment for you to practice on. Okay. And once you're done, just revert it back to me as one-on-one, so that I will go through and get it back to you. Okay. Clear? Yeah, sure. Yep. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day to you all.